Get underway. 26 individual races, plus the relays, plus the national selections. It's been a long, hard season for everyone here, but they've still got 12.5 kilometres to cover, and 5 times around the 2.5 kilometre loop here around the Holmenkollen stadium. Most of the snow's disappeared, but they've kept the racetracks in perfect condition. Here are the standings for the mass start. Just 11 points between Dalmar and Kukalava. Now, if Kukalava wins today, Dalmar has to finish in second to claim the mass start globe. If Kukalava's second, then Dalmar needs to be 4. If Kukalava's third, Dalmar still has to hit the top 6. So I guess Dalmar's still the favourite. She's not been out of the top 2 in a mass start so far this season. That's a phenomenal record from 4 mass starts. And Mark, something that you notice when you look down the stats for the mass starts, only the best win.
Yeah, you see that. I mean, the best athletes are racing the most races, but when it comes to the mass starts, it just looks like there's a different league at the top there.
And there's a psychological aspect that they just don't have to contend with in the time trial events. Makarinen, a bit of a drop-off at the end of her season. The shooting's gone awry ever since she went up to Kontiolahti. Well, there you have confirmation of the race and the distance with a mass start. All the athletes busy getting into the pen, still trying to do their warm-up, but in a very restricted area. I must say the officials, the volunteers have done a tremendous job so far this weekend, and Holmenkollen relies heavily on them because they have so many events. It's not just about biathlon, the jumping, the Nordic combined, of course the cross-country, which is the highlight for many. Now, what can the Finns do today? Makarinen will be hoping to finish her season well. There's Durana Bear for France. And again, not the best finish to the season. Quite a few athletes, Mark, commenting on the fact that 3 World Cups post the World Championships is a really tough routine.
Yeah, and also the expectations on the World Championships now and the Olympic Games. It's like no one remembers second place in the World Cup, but the big races, the World Champs, the Olympics, is all about that. So I think that the peaking and the training's all geared up to be the best in these events.
Well, these are aerial shots taken from a while ago. The stadium not quite full. I expect we'll see a few more come up for the afternoon, although the snow forecast, it was due to be rain 3 days ago. They thought it was going to be much warmer than this, but hopefully it's going to be snow. That will help the kids' races next weekend, which are taking place in this stadium. Some 8,000 young Norwegians coming up to do races of various distances. If you ever wondered why they're so good, that's got to be one of the reasons.
Yeah, you get exposed to skiing very early, and in fact next weekend, if you haven't got any skis, you can actually borrow some. So they've got a really good system.
Yeah, skis not cheap nowadays.
But the weather, Patrick's been pretty. One thing's been the prediction, and the day we get here, it's slightly changed. So it should be snow today, but now it looks like it might just be snowing tomorrow instead.
Well, the tracks outside of the stadium, the sort of punters' tracks up on the top of the hill, they could do with a little bit of snow. For ski courtesy of Mr. G yesterday, took me down the Cresta run.
I could have done with some ice skates actually.
So the temperature hovering at around 0. They'll be glad it's not a classic race, and biathlon hasn't been classic since what, 1985? They were very quick to make the switch to freestyle only. Now let's have a look at the course. The extra little bit that the women do, that loop you've just seen, and that's actually quite a severe climb up to the church.
Yeah, you go past the back of the chapel there, and there's a nice stop of the hill. So it will definitely take its toll on the girls who have been used to doing the 500 metres less in the last 2 days.
And the tougher the course, the greater the difference between the faster skiers and the slower. So we would expect to see your Dalmars and your Eckhoffs and your Kukalavas open up a bit more of a gap.
Yeah, you see, I mean, looking at the pursuit results yesterday, there's quite a big difference in how hard some of the girls are actually starting.
Now their start number, for the first 25 anyway, correlates to their World Cup position. No one's pulled out, unsurprisingly, want to have a part of the final stage of the season. Only the last 6, or the last 5, starting with Mari Laukkanen on that start sheet, are athletes that have done well here in Oslo, and they qualify on merit as to their current form. Everyone else is in there because of their World Cup position. Seems to be a fair way to do it. Laura Dalmar starts as a race favourite, as we showed you earlier. She leads the mass start standings. 3 times second, 1 win, of course, that came at the World Championships. And compared to Kukalova, who won the first 2 mass starts of the season, she was 3rd in Antolz and then 4th in the World Championships.
And Gabby, she has not missed 1 shot in these last 2 days. So she has taken 30 shots and shot clean.
Yeah, we were both slightly taken by surprise in the press conference after this pursuit race. She was asked how she felt, what's the difference between Pyeongchang and Kontiolahti, where she was really off form. She said, I think it's that I just didn't care. She said, to be honest, in the sprint I wanted to miss all the targets, so I got the Saturday off. Didn't happen. She hit the whole lot, finished in the podium, and well, just not winning, but still a much better result than we've seen for a few weeks from her. And now she's in a position to claim not her first Crystal Globe of the season, but her second.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. She just sounded on the press interview at the end there, she was completely negative and like kind of switched off a few races ago. But given these results the last 2 days, it seems like something's going right.
Yeah, she was one of those stressing the difference. Last year we had the World Championships here in Oslo, and then just 1 World Cup after that. I think one of the issues with her is that her whole focus of the season was the World Championships. It wasn't on winning the yellow bib at the end of the season. So she's then got a further 4 weeks to hang on, keep the form, keep the training going. And that's pretty tough when you haven't geared yourself up for it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and then what they're going to go into now after this season is a massive build-up into the Olympic year. And some of the athletes will try new things, and they'll be looking to gain that 0.5% or whatever it takes to get up on the main.
Justine Brezat, be nice to see her get a win. She's the highest in the ranking without a win in her career. Dorothy Vera, of course, has had 3 in the past. Shooting not quite as good this year as it was last year. The stand's the same, but she's dropped from 91% in the prone to 87, and dropped a couple of places in the World Cup standings as a result of that. All 30 athletes ready to go. Certainly an advantage to be up the front. Welcome to Oslo. If you've just joined us, just a couple of moments to go before the start of the women's mass start, their 26th and final race of the season. On the front of the grid, Dalmar on the far side, Kukalova wearing 2, Kaisa Mäkäräinen on this side. All 3 of them have won the overall Crystal Globe, but this season belonging to Laura Dalmar, who's notched up 10 victories this season, trying to make it 11 today, and it's going to take a monumental effort from someone else to beat her, because this is the sort of race that Dalmar enjoys. Mäkäräinen, if she's on form, is likely to push the pace early on. Dalmar, I think, will be confident enough just to rely on her shooting with the combination of very good ski speed. Not the fastest, but she's right up there, only what, 1.5% behind Mäkäräinen.
Yeah, you saw yesterday there was some really fast first loops. So this is going to be interesting to see who goes out and takes the lead.
Well, Mäkäräinen highly likely to lead up the first big climb. Kukalova, we'll wait to see just how tired she is. Brezat, I think, will take the bait handed to her by Mäkäräinen and try and stay on the heels of the Finn. I feel a little sorry for Lautinen, Mark. She's obviously on the form of her life, but because she's not in the top 30 of the World Cup standings, she started right at the back of the grid. She's got an almighty task in the first 2.5K. Would you advise her to try and work her way towards the front, or just be patient and then make your move after the first shoot?
I think on her current form that she's going to be eager to get up there, but she's definitely got a disadvantage starting so far back. So she's going to have to do some really fancy skiing and footwork to get around, try and fight through the outside, and maybe she can get up there.
Well, she's already gained 5 or 6 places. Lautinen wearing the white, predominantly white of the Finnish team, same as Mäkäräinen, who leads the way. And she's not quite up to halfway in the field, but she's starting 26. You can see her on the near side trying to make her ground. She's absolutely doing what you suggested, Mark, fighting her way through. Doesn't always pay off, so we'll keep a careful eye on her. She's certainly now into around 12th position.
I'm just actually quite interested to see what Susan Dunkley does now, because yesterday she had the fastest first loop of everybody and the second fastest second loop, and then it went to, well, it wasn't a good shoot in the, into the range in the last 2 times, so she blew herself out.
Yeah, hot, I think the word you're after. It was a disappointing day for Dunkley. Her form, fantastic. Now we've commented on her season, and she's had a much better season. She's on 10th position. Crucial that Dunkley picks up a decent amount of points to secure top 10 in the World Cup standings, both financially and you know, for her confidence as well. But actually, her shooting stats are exactly the same as last year. The explanation that I've got is that when the conditions are difficult, she's atrocious. I mean, you know, Osterson couldn't hit a thing. We go to Oberhof, couldn't hit a thing. But when the conditions are calm, she's fantastic. And we've suddenly seen someone who's got the confidence, the belief that she can hit the target. So there are sort of 2 Dunkleys out there competing.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because it's exactly the, you know, she can be amazing, and then the next thing is like, well, you know, just throw that one away and focus on the next race.
So she'll be glad that it's actually the calmest conditions we've had so far this week. We've got a guy down below the commentary box who's basically chopped down a tree, and he's put a couple of Norwegian flags on every branch, and he's struggling to hold the thing upright, but the flags are actually not moving at all. So much safer conditions. First faller of the day, number 17 going down. That's Celia and Monnier. Well,
Disaster.
Yeah. I can't believe she hasn't realised that the rifle is hanging down between her legs rather than up on the shoulder blade. She's got some assistance. Are you allowed assistance?
Well, there's going to be information sent down straight to the range to get her a spare weapon.
Yeah.
But you see it gets so tight on the sharp turns here that if you just get pushed out to the outside, what happens now? You see she's just going to... in fact, she lost it even before she hit the barriers.
Yeah, and the glasses have gone as well. So that's bad news. Amonier's had a difficult time over the last couple of weeks. Really put, I think the low light of her season was the last of the relays, where I think she did 3-4 penalty loops. It was just a dire performance, and really sad, because she needed a couple of good races to get her confidence back. But she's part of a really strong team. The French are fantastic, and we're still waiting for them to fulfill their potential. Germany, very dominant in the relays. Germany have actually won the Nations Cup in the women's biathlon, if you didn't pick that up earlier in the week.
But Patrick, you've got 5 French ladies competing today, and they're the most represented nation in the mass start, so that says something in itself.
Yeah, Germany with 4, what have we got? Italy and the Czech Republic with 3. The other side, Russia have only got 1 who've qualified for the mass start.
That's not normal. But it definitely looks super fast out there today. I think that's one of the reasons she took a fall. You see they're gliding a long way out of every hill. I think it's going to be a quick race.
Now you can see the sort of the corduroy effect on the tracks. Not as pronounced as we've seen throughout the World Cup. They have definitely changed the way they cut the tracks. What's that, Mark? Is when it's as hard and icy as this, the corduroy effect can be detrimental?
Yeah, you know, you can get your ski stuck in a straight line when you're actually trying to glide slightly to an incline. So some of the feedback from yesterday was that the tracks were difficult to ski on because there was too much ruts in the course.
So first shoot, they go for the lane that corresponds with their bib, so it will be Dalmar nearest the camera, Kukalova 2, Makarinen 3, Durana Bear 4, Vera 5, the 5 best for the season this year, and then Justine Brézard for France in 6, alongside her teammate Anaïs Chevalier. Now, Kukalova, if she wins, she forces Dalmar to finish in 2nd to claim her 4th Crystal Globe of the season.
Very fast start from Akimova.
Well, Kukalova and Dalmar are taking an age. Just trying to make sure. There's a miss from the German. That's a big advantage. Hildebrand and Dunkley have gone clear. Dalmar with that miss. Kukalova so slow with the targets. Makarinen gets 5. Durana Bear, Chevalier made mistakes. Olsbu, big sigh coming up from the crowd when hers went wide. She's a really popular athlete around here.
You see, look, Dunkley taking lead. We know she can ski like the wind in the first couple of loops, but let's just see what she can do now.
Nice to see Selena Gasparin of Switzerland. She's got herself up into 10, racing with bib number 20. 2 wins in her career, Gasparin, but both of those have been in the sprint, the two-shoot format. If she could get a win here today, that would be sensational. It's Dunkley who leads. 1 shoot completed, 3 still to go. What a contrast, the Dunkley from yesterday to today. It was quite breezy yesterday, and there are 1 or 2 athletes who just hate shooting in the wind. Simon Schempf is one. Martin Fourcade, actually, his worst performances tend to come in the wind. Osterson and Oberhof, he tends to find a little bit harder, but he's still strong enough to finish in the top 3. How much difference do you think it will make to the American that it's calm?
Yeah, the wind was quite horrendous yesterday. Today, looking over towards the range, it looks really good. So I think that she can afford to take a chance on the intensity she comes into the range with, and it might just be, you know, the key to her success today.
Well, some of the big competitors dropping back. It's Dunkley who leads, as you can see. We've got Tiralekov. I think she's up in the top 3, the Norwegian. Yep, sitting in 3rd position at the moment. Been a good start from her. The athletes now halfway round their 2nd lap here in Oslo. 5 laps to be completed in all. Dunkley is the one setting the pace. And we've got Germany's Franziska Hildebrand right up there. There's Kaisa Mäkäräinen. I didn't get a readout on Laukkonen. We'll just try and catch up on her shooting performance. We both thought that after yesterday and the emotion of yesterday's race, Laukkonen might fade. She has actually got a missed 1 target, and Laukkonen finds herself down in 25th position after the first shoot. Tiralekov is on the charge. How she'd love to get another win here. That World Championship sprint title she took last year. I've never seen anyone enjoy a victory as much as she did, and the celebrations went on long in the night. I think she was still in the TV studio at 11 o'clock that night.
It does not get better than winning on your home turf. What's quite interesting, Patrick, is that the mass start, it's you cannot ski your own race. It's every loop is a battle.
Advantage Kukalova in terms of the mass start World Cup. Waiting to see what Dalmar missed 1 shot and should be in this next group. Here she comes with the yellow and the red bib. That's quite a margin that's opened up. She's going to be at least 23, 24, in fact more, 27 seconds down. And now she has to make a decision. Does she make the chase, or does she just wait patiently and hope that Gabby Kukalova misses targets?
I think that there's no holding back. You just, you know, this is a final race for them this season, and I think you cannot afford to be too tactical. You just got to go for it.
This is the corner where Monnier went down on the 1st lap, and you can see how they're struggling to stay on there. Worth bearing in mind that a cross-country ski, if you've never felt one, they don't have a metal edge. In fact, it's just a soft Pitex edge, so very difficult to get around the icy corners, and it requires some dainty little footwork.
It requires some fancy footwork, a lot of skill, amazing weight transfer. And
is there a correlation between those who can dance and those who can corner well?
Well, I've seen Simon Fourcade dance down in the nightclub, and if it goes on dancing, he would win every race. What's interesting, the amount of glide they're getting out of every hill, and then just the shots before, you see how far they're getting along the track, so it just looks super fast out there.
Well, Susan Dunkley losing a little bit of ground.
And this is from yesterday, Patrick. They're skate touring a lot longer up this hill. So, you know, they're really holding the speed.
Yeah, still quite firm. I don't think the men are going to have it any easier because the temperature due to rise, and the track's likely to get broken up. But the speed's still quick. There's not a lot of moisture in the snow. Very low humidity here in Oslo this week, 33 to 34%, which is What's that, about 66% lower than where I come from on the west coast of Scotland.
Well, you know, it's raining there the whole time. But some of the athletes getting corrections before the range. You saw this, some of the coaches were holding up a magnet board with showing them where they're missing, so they can make a correction.
Well, how about this? Justine Brizard, one of the youngest athletes in the field, bold enough to lead the way. Tiralekov just sitting in behind her. Makarainen is there as well. Dunkley settling down into 5th. I think actually the factor with Dunkley is the cornering. Her technical skills aren't as good as some of those Scandinavian and the French, who are brilliant at the downhill sections. And I think just losing a bit of ground on those tough corners, but that should get easier as the race goes on.
Not just ground, Patrick, but like energy as well. You stress, if you're not good on the downhills, you stress and you waste a lot of energy.
7 in this leading group. And the latest readout we have, Laura Dalmar, some 25 seconds behind the race leaders.
They've got to be fast in the position. It's all right getting the first shot to count. Great shooting from Dunkley. 3 hits already. 4.
Miss from Kukalova.
Hits the 5th.
That could be important. Susan Dunkley 5 down, Eckhoff 5 down. Hildebrand's cleared the lot, so has Brizard. So the youngster stays up there, and Makarainen is clear as well. 2 misses from Gasparin. Now keep an eye on Dalmar's target. She's thrown one wide, and even she isn't immune to the pressure that we always see on the final day of the season. The overall is done and dusted, but the pressure of trying to win the Mastart Crystal Globe obviously affecting her. That's 2 misses in the first 10. We've not seen performances like that too often this season. Grigorin, Scardino needs a good race. She had a dire one yesterday. Vishnevskaya going clear. Sanfilippo misses. Roncalde, great shot from Italy. She's one of the up-and-coming stars in the Italian team. And Duran Bear puts them down. 5 out of 5 for her. But Dunkley leading after the first shoot. She's back in control again, only 2 seconds ahead of Eckhoff, who's keeping the Norwegian crowd going. And here comes...
It's like Dalmar just come out the loop there.
Yeah.
Get back.
Kukalova dropping from top 3 down to 10th position. That could be an expensive mistake from her. Surely she's got to finish in the top 3.
Really nice to see the Italians representing 3 of their athletes in the Mastart. This is a new league of Italian women skiing.
Yeah, I think they've had that issue over the years, both biathlon and cross-country, just not enough at the top level in the women's sport. The cross-country, there was always one star, whether it be Decenta or Belmondo. And then in biathlon, well, Dorothy Vera has been the star of the last 5 years, but she's now been joined by Roncalde, Sanfilippo, and of course Vitozzi has had some fantastic races as well. So won't be long before they have a really, really talented relay team. Tiralekov has taken the leader's duty. Kaisa Makarainen is still there, hasn't missed a target so far, Makarainen. Hildebrand just with her. And we've got, what, 7 athletes who've yet to miss a target. The fastest of those with a miss is Marta Olsbu of Norway. She's 29 behind. The last we've got on Dalmar, she's 49.5 behind. Down in 20th position. And 20th position, just trying to work out how many points she'll get for that. Well, it's going to be around 25 points. Which means that Kukalova has to pick up 36 points, and she'll achieve that by finishing in 7th place. So, as things lie at the moment, the Mastart Crystal Globe is going to Laura Dalmar, despite the fact that she's way down the order. Kukalova must make a move.
Some of the shooting yesterday on the stand, we saw Marta Olsby from Norway, shooting 21 seconds in stand. 21 seconds clear.
Yeah, Simon was the same from France. Julia Simon, Lisa Hauser, 22 seconds. That's a fantastic shoot. She's obviously been doing a bit of training with Simonada, and often we see Hauser produce a fast shoot, but she performed really well yesterday. And Hauser starts with bid number 15. She's actually down in 14th position at the moment, having missed one, 38.1.
But definitely a comparison from when I pulled the plug from this game to seeing it now. The level of the shooting in the women has always been good, but now they're starting to shoot fast as well.
Now, while we've got an opportunity before they come in for shoot number 3, a couple of emails coming in. Mike Ogden pointing out that yesterday I said I couldn't remember a time where the starter in a sprint had shot clear and not won the pursuit. He quite rightly reminded me that Gusner won in Pachuca. I think it was back in 2012, just before the Christmas break, where she missed 5 and still overtook Kukalova, who started first, shot clear and didn't win. So thanks for that, Mike.
You stand corrected.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting now. The shooting we just saw from the American athlete Susan Dunkley. Great shooting, clear. Yesterday, Patrick, when it comes to stand, she missed 4 in the first visit to the shooting range in the stand shooting, and 3 on the end. So what is going to go through your mind coming into the stand shooting when you're in the lead position?
Well, she's got to try and remember all the good standing shooting she's done since the start of the World Championship. She knows she can hit 5, she knows she can hit 10 in the stand position. And as we mentioned at the start, it's either dreadful or it's unbelievably good. And you can almost tell with the first shot, you can see the body position, you can see how confident, how relaxed, how easy she is. And I think we'll probably pick up on that early with this shoot, particularly if she's first in and goes into lane number 1. So we had 7 at this stage last time round. We're reduced to 6. Kaisa Makarainen has joined the back of this leading group, having worked hard. So she'll be keeping her fingers crossed she can clear the target, so we can get 3 finished winners in succession. Laukkanen taking the first 2 here in Oslo. And Laukkanen still, well, she's missed 2 now, 105. So we're back to business as usual as far as her shooting is concerned.
I think the mindset as well in this race, you have to really find an area where you can do your own thing and you've got to stay in there, so hang in there and fight in every shot.
Kukalova, for those of you following the Czech, 30 seconds behind when she came out, and we'll try and get an update on her position before she comes in for shoot number 3.
Ekov looking super focused.
Dunkley throws the first wide. We could be in for a repeat of yesterday. Ekov focused, but wide with the first shot. 2 misses from Dunkley, 3 misses from Dunkley. No change from yesterday. That's a real shame. Hildebrand with an opportunity to take the lead. It is Hildebrand. Wow, great shooting from her. 2 wins in her career. She hasn't had one this season. She's now just 5 kilometers and 5 targets away from a possible win here in Oslo. Now, Dalmar, 2 misses already. If she shoots clear, she's pretty much back on level pegging with Kukalova. Kukalova 4 out of 4. Needs this final stand shot. A delay, but it's down. Dalmar, first one down, and the second. Anna Magnusson for Sweden, rattling through the targets. 4 out of 4 for Dalmar. It's a slow, deliberate shoot, but I'm pretty sure she'll feel if she can clear all 10 in the stand, she'll win the mass start standings. Kukalova has gone from outside the top 7 up into 4th position, but still 29 behind, so only a 1-second gain on the race leaders after that shoot. But because so many of that leading group missed on the last shoot, she's now in a position to challenge for another top 3. What? So Hildebrand, Vitkova and Ekov, the leading 3 here in Oslo. 1 shoot remaining. Well, it's not been a bad season for Hildebrand. Up in 9th position in the World Cup rankings. Had some good races in Oberhof and Ruhpolding. I think the World Championships really went her way, struggled to make it into the top 15. Not sure she made it into the top 15 in any race, but this would be a fantastic way to wrap up the season. But the job is not yet done. If you were to give us some indication of the difficulty of the third shoot in a mass start event like this and the final shoot, how much harder is the last 5?
Yeah, you know, the last visit to the range, you know, whatever you do on that final shoot will determine the outcome. So the pressure is a lot more in the end, especially if you're up there and you're holding the, let's say, running for the podium.
I guess there aren't that many who can tell us how difficult it is to lead into the last shoot. Certainly not at World Cup level. A little disappointed with the crowd numbers for this women's mass start. They are here, but not quite in the numbers that we were expecting. I guess there'll be a few having a lie-in coming up for the race this afternoon. 1:30 the start time for the men's mass start, and Germany will be having their fingers crossed, hoping they can win this one, and then hoping that Simon Schempp puts in a good performance, because if he performs this afternoon, top 5 from Simon Schempp will give him the mass start crystal globe and stop Martin Fourcade taking the clean sweep. Fourcade has 4 in his pocket already, and hoping to round it off with a 5th one this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see what Hildebrand can do now. She's been a bit sporadic in the races this weekend. She started on a bad one on the sprint, 3 misses in the prone. Great that she's finished with the prone shooting now, and what we do on the stand. She's got 4 missed targets yesterday, but very consistent, only 1 miss per shooting. So there's a very good chance that she can hold herself together into the final shoot.
Tyrilekov's gone from 3rd up into 2nd, but not gaining any ground on Hildebrand at the moment, who's really pushing the pace. Vikova started 19, she's dropped a couple of seconds. Kaisa Mäkäräinen has gone ahead of Kukalova. Those two, I think, will probably work together on this penultimate loop. And Justine Brézard started with bib number 6. She's lying in 6th at the moment. And just looking for Dalmar, she's up into 9th position. And if Dalmar finishes 9th, then Kukalova has to finish in 3rd or better to take this mass start globe. It's getting a bit complicated.
Well, that's the great thing about this sport. It's like, you know, you cannot place any bets until the last visit to the range. It looks like Hildebrand's got a really good lead. Probably good first. She can find her thoughts and really find a special focus. And if she keeps this together, she will lead the range first as well.
How much of a lead does she need? Well, if she's got someone like Eckhoff or Mäkäräinen chasing, you'd think 10 seconds might just be enough. 5 seconds, I doubt. But actually, she's looking pretty sparky at the moment. Whether she's just saying, OK, I've got to take all the risks, push the pace on this penultimate loop, keep a gap. Eckhoff will fancy her chances of chasing down Hildebrand, no doubt, but she's already done an extra 150 metres and only 19.3 behind. Mäkäräinen now 28, which is just looking, she started 30, so she's gained a little bit of ground. Dalmar now up into 6th. She's pushed the afterburners, and Dalmar is getting closer and closer. If she finishes 6th, then Kukalova has to finish 1st or 2nd. So it's swinging back towards the German. And she, of course, looking for that 4th crystal globe for the season.
Seems like Dalmar's got some kind of jump to light speed mode. You see his patterns, the same names coming through. You know, the going's tough, and the big names, they just find a way to punch through.
Yeah, of the big names still up in the top 7. Well, Dalmar, Mäkäräinen and Kukalova are there. Tyrilekoff, she's not big in terms of consistency. We should point out that Domracheva's not having a bad run. She's only 58 behind, 10th position. She's missed 2 targets. So a clear shoot on the final shoot for Domracheva, and she could move up into the top 5 or 6 quite easily. Hernig looking nervous. I hope he's got a nice holiday planned after the season's over. Tough job for him with so many stars in the team.
So she has not missed a shot yet. Let's see what she can do.
She missed 2 in the last pursuit in Kontiolahti on the last shot, but she hit all 5 in the last shoot of the World Championship mass start. Is she on the way to 5 out of 5 and a possible win? A little delay, and it's gone wide. It's gone wide. She's offered a possible victory to Vitkova, who misses her chance. Kukalova now, 4 out of 4. This could be the ticket to another Crystal Globe. Kukalova and Ekhoff go clear. A ski race to the line, which is just what we want. And Dalmar, if Kukalova wins, has to finish in 2nd place. So just the sort of drama we wanted for the last race of the season. And the German has gone and thrown one wide. She won't win, and I think she's lost her opportunity to claim globe number 4. Tyrell Ekhoff, what a performance from her. 19 hits out of 20. She's just like Susan Dunkley. Some days it doesn't work, other days, and they're pretty rare, but when she clicks, she's very tough to beat.
Yeah, what a climax. There's going to be excitement all the way to the line.
Now, what is Hildebrand thinking? Leading the way into the range, a comfortable lead of over 20 seconds. Suddenly, one little lapse of concentration, and that win, 13,000 euros. She wouldn't have been thinking of the money, but the glory, certainly, she would have been thinking of.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe making a visit to see the king as well.
Yeah, Daria Domracheva did go clear on her last shoot, so now we're going to see what she can do on the skis. And she's, what, 42 behind, but a gain of 6 seconds. She could be right on the tail of Kaisa Mäkäräinen. That's winding the clock back a bit, seeing those two going head-to-head. But what about this? Tyrell Ekhoff must have been thinking of that World Championship sprint last year, where she cleared the targets. 30,000 people cheering her on away on that occasion. Doesn't look like anyone's going to catch her. Fantastic performance from Tyrell Ekhoff and Kukalova. It's been a tremendous week for Kukalova, especially when you consider in Pyeongchang she felt awful and the results showed it. Kontiolahti, she couldn't really get it together, but she's come to the final week tired, certainly. But, you know, is it the fact that she gave the impression she didn't really care? Does that help on occasions?
You know, I'd like to see what she performed like when she does care.
4th, 2nd, and again, she's going to be on the podium today. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I can't see her catching it. Ekhoff still pulling clear.
Yeah, Tyrell Ekhoff, she's a local girl. She lives not far from here. There'd be a lot of people out the tracks. She'd be really sucking up that energy.
How do the biathletes' fame, how does that compare with the likes of Björgen and Therese Johaug?
Yeah, you know, they're household names. There's a really good feeling about the athletes and the support system. Everyone knows who they are. You know, they don't get any hassle, and I think they're very proud of their homegrown athletes.
Well, Kukalova will not know what is going on behind. Dalmar at the moment is down in 8th position. And in fact, yeah, 42 behind, but Dalmar can gain, she can certainly gain 5 places, which would put her up in the top 5. If Kukalova finishes 2nd, which is what it looks like, then Dalmar needs to get up into 4th position to claim the title. That means taking some 23 seconds off Franziska Hildebrand. Will Hildebrand put the anchors on and let Dalmar through? Well, it's possible, but I can't see it happening.
I don't think it's going to be like that.
Vitkova also fighting for a top 4 position. She came out of the range 21 behind with a 21-second advantage over Lara Dalmar. So we'll get another update as they go through 10.9. 12.5, remember the total distance. Is this Dalmar on the move? Daria Domracheva on the left of your screen at the moment. You can pick that technique up a mile away.
I've got a feeling that Mäkäräinen is going to gun it for 3rd place. She's really turning up the speed now.
Makarainen only 1 second off Vidkova. Third place, that's still a tough task. 8 seconds to gain. Lara Dalmar comes through 57. She was only 42 behind at the start. So Dalmar, I think, given up the chase, which is very, very uncharacteristic. But if anyone's tired, she is. It's been a brilliant season. 10 wins this year. That's impressive. The other stat I like, 4 first-time winners on the women's tour this year. Of course, it started with the Kiemovrin over Miesto. Chevalier's had a first win. Horschler got a win in Antolz in the mass start there. And of course, Mary Laukkanen getting not 1, but 2 wins. And both of them coming here in Oslo.
That's so healthy for the sport to get some new blood up on the podium.
Look at this, the last climb for Tiril Eckhoff. There's no let off. She's up the tempo once again. This is a brutally hard hill. First sign of, well, is that nerves looking over the shoulder? A lot of coaches say don't do it, but it's never a bad thing to know what the situation is.
Yeah, you know, this is the final stage of the race. You just want to be sure that she's not like putting on some kind of speed rocket maneuver.
Yeah, just make sure you don't plant the basket in between your skis. That would certainly eat up a 15-second advantage. But she's safely over the top of the last climb. She can enjoy the last 800 meters now. The jump comes into sight. She breaks to the right. And then, of course, the next turn leads her down into the stadium and past the fans that will be really enjoying this one. Norway have had their success this weekend. Johannes Tinges Bo has got a win. There's Gabi Kukalova. Now, we were talking about redheads and success in winter sport, Mark. Kukalova certainly falls in that bracket. I think Tiril Eckhoff's a little bit blonde. But the redheads have more than their fair share of success when you think Johannes Tinges Bo, Gabi Kukalova, Kadi Wilhelm. Okay, perhaps it wasn't natural, but when she had dyed red hair, she was phenomenally successful. And then on the cross-country front, what have we got? Sundby, Darling.
Yeah, I mean, the list is endless. And Johannes Tinges Bo, you know, it's like there's a domination, the ginger head, the red tail, auburn, burgundy, burnt orange, strawberry blonde attack. So,
hey, and what about Britain's own Andrew Musgrave? He's in there as well.
Yeah, you know what, I'm considering see if I can change my hair colour after this.
So here we come with Eckhoff up the Nortug step, and has she got that famous smile on? She's going to take a flag nice and early, and that must be a fantastic feeling. Again, she'll get a chat with the king. She was with him for about half an hour last year after she won the world title. Here it goes.
What a feeling.
Yeah, the biggest smile in biathlon, perhaps second only to Gabi Kukalova, and those two are going to finish 1 and 2 today.
You will not find a happier girl on this race today.
Nice bright way to finish the biathlon season, and that will set her up for a good summer's training. She can spend every moment this summer thinking about success in the Olympic Games. Just needs to get well, stay healthy for starters. Illness has been a big problem for Tiril this summer and the early part of the winter, so if she can avoid that, they've just changed the programme so the peak comes in February. Big race going on behind. Kukalova's gone into second, as you can see, and Kaisa Makarainen turning on the turbos for the last 2Ks, gets herself on the podium. So the Finns have had a phenomenally successful meet here in Oslo. Vidkova puts 2 checks in the top 4. Hildebrand lost her opportunity with that miss in the stand. Laukkanen 6. Here comes Daria Domracheva. We'll see better from her next year. A great comeback season from Daria Domracheva, and a silver from the World Championships to celebrate as well. And 9th place for Lara Dalmar, who's gone 31st, 9th and 9th in the last 3 races of the season. Her chance of winning 4 Crystal Globes disappearing. It's Kukalova who picks up her 2nd.
And she didn't want it. She's ready to go home.
Justine Brezard shooting wise. Brezard missing 4. No one shooting clear, but of those hitting 95%, we had Eckhoff, Kukalova, Hildebrand, Scardino, who shoots right-handed, left-eyed. She's hit 19 out of 20 as well, so only 5 hitting 95%. Shima in there as well, and Shima so often hits 19 or 20 in the 4 shoot races, so she's had a good season. Olsbu 16th, a little bit disappointing, but the Norwegians focusing on Eckhoff at the moment. Susan Dunkley, a whole lot better than yesterday. In fact, 50% better, but she still missed 5. 10 misses yesterday, so that's 15 misses in 2 races. She's got to put those to the back of her mind and start thinking about the races she did at the World Championships. We saw her on good form in Pyeongchang and Kontiolahti, so she knows she can do it. I think we'll see more from her at the beginning of next season.
I mean, it's very positive to see how well she can do half of the race, you know, so she's got to fix the second part.
Dahma's not used to losing. I think the German team have found it a bit tough today. But the season is now over. 26 individual races completed. Full World Cup wins, as you can see, for Tiril Eckhoff. What a smile. How can that not make you smile?
Nice teeth.
Still only 26. Many say your prime comes between 27 and 29, so maybe 2018 is the season for Tiril Eckhoff. She's not consistent enough to be a challenger for the overall, but I think we'll see her get a couple of wins next year, and if she gets her training right, gets the peak right, they could come in Pyeongchang. There's confirmation, 34:23, the winning time. Gabi Kukalova, under a lot of pressure. She knew what was at stake today. She did exceptionally well after a poor start. Got herself up into 2nd place, and well done to Kaisa Mäkäräinen. Good.